So in today's video I'd like to show you a setting that if you turn it off it's going to make the game, I think, much more interesting to play. And I think it will work even if you already know the game and you're just looking for a new challenge. And this setting is actually not found in the realism settings of the game. You go to settings, you go to interface, and you scroll down to detection gauge. Now what this setting does, you're probably very familiar with it if you played the game already. It points towards if an enemy spots you, where the enemy is, and how close he is to identifying you as a target. First I'm going to show you a scene with that thing on, and then the difference when you play with it off. Okay? So, here's a small camp, and I'm going to get close to this enemy sniper sitting here. Okay, so the way this thing works is that the game gives you a clear indication between danger and safety. If you're walking around the map and until such a thing starts blinking, you know you're completely safe. And when a thing starts blinking, the game starts showing you the edge of where the danger comes from and how much time you have left to avoid it from identifying you. And I think it takes a lot of gameplay out of the game, because not knowing whether you're safe or not makes the game much more interesting. Detection gauge, never. Okay, so now the only thing that helped me identify if an enemy is starting to look at me is me actually observing the enemy with my own eyes. And additionally, when he starts spotting you, the audio and the animations of the character, if they're raising the gun, or if they're doing any nervous action, which means I'm engaged with my own eyes and my own senses to observe the enemy at all times. I'm crawling in the open, and I have no idea if the guy is spotting me yet or not. Set up. Yeah, now he saw me. And if I wouldn't have paid attention to the sniper actually being in this area, and I was just traveled over here without observing the surroundings, he would have started to shoot at me without me even recognizing before the first shot fell. And now this makes the game, even if you get spotted, the game is not more interesting, because let's say I want to see him again. I want to look at him, see what he's doing. Then I have to use binoculars or a drone. But as long as he has a drop on me like this, I cannot expose myself, which forces me to use tactics and try to avoid them. As you can see, that sniper in the background, I had no idea this guy was even in the area. Now this also has some gameplay implications if you're playing with friends. So for example, let's say you're playing co-op with 2 or 4 friends, and you have one guy sitting at the back on the ridge over here, and he's using a drone to guide the other guys into the combat. Now as usual, you would probably, if you had a drone guy, you would tell your friends, okay, there's an enemy in this tower, perhaps you would mark him depending what realism settings you want to play on. But if detection markers are completely off, then you actually have to zoom in and very carefully observe the guy. Let's say your friends are sneaking up that hill. Or like in the previous example, like your friends are sneaking up that hill and you want to know if that sniper guy is going to spot them or not. But you actually have to pay attention. Not just for the detection marker on the screen, but not just for the detection mark on the screen, but also for the physical reactions of the enemies that are looking into that direction. And I think that makes the game much more engaging than just waiting for a HUD marker to pop up. And there's another tactical implication to that. Let's say you're approaching an area you don't exactly know where the enemies are. Then you do not know where that line between safety and danger is, with the detection setting off. Which means the line between safety and danger is now a blurry line. And you have to actually work harder to detect the edge of that line and don't accidentally walk into it. So I hope this video made sense, and I highly recommend trying to play with the detection setting off, because I think it's a very impactful setting, and I owned the game for 2 or 3 years already, and now I'm starting to play it again, and I'm just because I found that setting.